Hello and welcome to our Friday afternoon live chat. If you're joining us live, welcome. If you are joining us on the rebroadcast, we also welcome you as well. We know not everyone is available to make our live broadcast, so we always want to make sure that we make these broadcasts available to you as rebroadcasts, both on Facebook and on YouTube. So on Fridays, we have just started a new series for today's aging community, and Michael and I are coming together to share some of the things that we have either struggled with and overcome, or some things or information or tidbits of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Conversation about things that are applicable to today's aging community and specifically as families and couples. Today we're going to be talking about 5 ways you can synchronize your healthy lifestyle as a couple, and some of the things that Michael and I have gone through on our journey from where we were when I was sick and where Michael is today with me on the journey, and how we have really melded that into our lifestyle for us as a couple and beyond that as well with our children. So again, welcome. We always like to ask that if you're joining us on YouTube, you do take a second to hit that subscribe button. That way you will be notified when we go live and or this is uploaded as a rebroadcast. And the same for Facebook. Please hit that like button. Always feel free to leave a comment as we are going through the discussion. We also like to open up the conversation at the end for you to jump in with us and share with us what you are doing as a family and or a couple. Or if you have a question or need some help or advice, we're here for that as well. So Michael and I have been on this journey as a married couple now for almost 19 years.
Almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years. Almost, well, as a married couple, 19.
19. Yeah, 19.
We're doing some fact checking here.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, and we have gone through a lot of life changes, as most people do who are married. Not all of them have been easy to navigate, but the one thing that we have always really been consistent with is our commitment as a couple to stay healthy and fit for our marriage, for us as a couple, for our kids, so that we can stay happy, healthy, and energetic for them. And then we always talk about the fact that we also want to be happy and healthy and energetic and have our wits about us for our grandkids as well. Michael and I were both very middle to late age range for having our kids. I was 34, he was 36 when we had Logan, and then 40 and 42 when we had Gabby. So we were on the older spectrum,
Old end.
I guess, of the age, which now is pretty normal, so it's not that big of a deal. So it's more of the norm today that people are having their kids later in life, but it's still, when you start doing the math and counting forward, does seem a little scary. So for us to have the commitment to really stay healthy as we go through these stages in life has really been a commitment for us, but we always have not been on the same page. So we're going to share with you the 5 things that we find to be really important to put into place and practice to really be able to synchronize what it is that you want to do with your spouse as you're going through this aging process, and how you can really coordinate a healthy lifestyle together so that you're going through it together and you're not kind of going on in the opposite direction. So Michael, why don't you share what the first tip is that we have?
Well, like you said, getting on the same page. We definitely have not always been on the same page when it came to our health and fitness. I think pretty close, because we were interested in eating healthy foods. We were both interested in exercise. We were both interested in living a healthy life, but it didn't always jive with us trying to commit to doing that together, like as a team, and having some cohesiveness, like with our relationship and with our everything we're doing in our health. It wasn't always. We didn't always see eye to eye on everything, but I think over the years what we've done is we've really like done some things that we do together, and not so much I'm going this direction, you're going that direction. And I think early on, like years ago, we were listening to some kind of positive motivational thing, and they talked about designing your perfect day, and what is your perfect day, and we thought, wow, that's interesting, let's do it. So Diane went to a separate room than what I was in, and we both wrote down what our perfect day looked like, and we came back, and that perfect day looked the same, almost exactly the same to both of us. So we're like, wow, okay, like that's interesting. Like we know, like how we want our day to be designed. So we kind of kicked off like everything that we did, like as far as the way we ate, our exercise routines, everything. We kind of jive those together. Wouldn't you say a little bit better?
So and when we were on different paths, we were always headed in the same direction. We were just going about it in different lanes, so to speak. So never anything that was combative or totally opposite of each other. That we were just kind of taking our individual personal route to get to what we want for ourselves, which is a healthy aging process and not being injured and being able to maintain our physical fitness. We were just doing it in different lanes. And so when we did design our perfect day, which if you haven't done this with your spouse or even like your best friend maybe or something, it's a really fun exercise to do, and you have to do it in separate areas of wherever you are so that you don't, talk about it. And you literally just brain dump what you want your day to be, from how you wake up and what you do when you wake up, and do you work out, do you not work out, do you watch the morning news, do you read a book, do you pray, like what is it that you do and how do you want your course of your day to roll out. And it's amazing when two people can come together and have that come out and be scripted so identical or so perfect to one another. And so we went, oh, okay, wait a second. Why are we not combining our interests and our goals together to get in the same lane on the path to where we want to end up? And when we really started doing that, I think that's when we not only came together health-wise, but we also came together a little bit more tightly as a married couple as well, because now we have these new common interests that we always had, we had just never discussed or committed to one another with. And so I think that's the second thing, is really committing as a team and really having each other's back. And so if you've been in our intermittent fasting for today aging woman course, we have the little Johnny rule, and I won't go into what that is, but we just have each other's back, and we have codes and we have signals and we have predetermined things that we discuss before we go to a party or before we go to a restaurant or before we go to a neighborhood barbecue. And we say, what is our expectation for ourselves when we're there? And we set that up before we leave, and then we back each other up when we're there. And if you are trying to live a specific lifestyle that maybe doesn't jive with the average or doesn't jive with people in your community or your social circle, you have to have someone who's got your back, and you have to have someone that's going to stand next to you and make the same sort of decisions that you are. And I don't want to say compromises, but I would say healthy choices or life choices with you, because then you feel a little more empowered and you really feel strong in your conviction about the choices that you're making, because you're not standing alone. And Michael and I have always been very firm on that, where we're together as a team. And because we already completed step 1, which was designing our day and designing our life, getting to step 2 was really easy, because we knew going out the door to whatever it was we were going to do socially, we have the same plan in place. So now all we have to do is be teammates and back each other up, and then just model each other's behavior based on the decisions that we've made before we have left the house. So working as a team is step number 2.
Yeah, working as a team. And just to elaborate on that a little bit more, like when it comes to tag team, I heard a guy on the radio yesterday, kind of blew me away. He was talking about the response to kind of woman he wants to marry, and they were having this discussion about she should do more of the housework than him, and like if she's pregnant, she still should do a bunch. I was just like shaking my head like, dude, what world are you living in? Callie, you're gonna knock over our computer, girl. What world are you living in? Because these days it just doesn't go down like that, bro. And if you haven't been married yet, you got a lot to learn, because we do a lot of tag team, and it's not gender specific what we do in our house. Like, Diane can trust that I'm going to get the laundry done, and she's going to run and make Gabby's lunch, and that all plays into
I have no trouble rolling out a trash can to the street. Yeah. Michael has no trouble washing dishes.
And it plays a big part of our healthy lifestyle, because like if you talk about working out, like we know, like, okay, we got a lot of stuff going on in the morning, and it's like, okay, we got to get lunch made for Gabby. We're gonna work out. We're gonna, get the trash out. We got to feed the dog. We got to get on the computers. We got emails and stuff we got to answer. Like, we have a lot of things going on, and like if we don't divide and conquer, sometimes we're gonna get conquered. So we're like, we're on it that way. So to elaborate on what you were saying, and then number three is think beyond today. So for us, I mean, you guys that are in this community know that we speak a lot about how we're living for our future grandkids. So, you know, I used to work out to be more vain, like I wanted to have, you know, be big and be the biggest guy, you know, in the room and be in good shape and all that. But now it's not about being vain, it's about where are we going with this? Like, I want to be able to push myself up off the floor if I fall down, you know, when I'm 75. I want to be able to play
And
with
you have to be able to
grandkids.
pick me up off
Oh,
the
yeah,
floor
pick you
when
up when
I
you
fell down when we were 75.
and you know, be able to play with grandkids and run around and throw a baseball or do whatever, and don't feel like, well, you know, I'm supposed to be this. I'm, you know, 75 and I can't, you know, do anything. I can't go for a walk. I can't. No, we don't want to live that life. We want to travel. We want to have be out there with our future grandkids and kids, and that's what we look forward to when we look beyond like what we're doing today. Like, if you think about going to work out or eating kale for dinner or whatever, you think, oh, that's kind of a drag. I'd rather have XYZ to eat, and I'd rather not work out. I'd rather have a beer and watch TV on the sofa. Like, yeah, who doesn't want to do that more than work out? But if you're thinking beyond today, it kind of motivates you to like, oh, we're getting it done. Like, we're going to go get it done this morning. We're going to get our workout. We're going to eat right. We're going to live clean. We're going to get a lot of sleep. We're going to drink enough water. We're going to do all those things.
And do it not just for you. And I think that's where the couple part comes in, is not be so turned in that all you're thinking about is what you want, but what can you do for your spouse as well? So, you know, if Michael throws his back out trying to be some macho guy in the gym, I'm screwed, because now everything's left up to me, and I have a husband who's laid out that now I have to care for, and vice versa. If I go do some crazy thing on the treadmill or go out on some long run and hurt myself, then he's stuck with having to pick up my loose end. So thinking about your spouse or your significant other is really key in this as well. When you're thinking beyond today, and where do we want to be 10 years from now? I don't want to have my knees replaced. I don't want to have my hips replaced. I don't want to, you know, be laid out because of a back injury. So we're really aware of what we're doing on a daily basis as well, to make sure that we're still in the game, not only for ourselves, but for each other, so that we don't become a burden. And that's another one of our big goals when we think about the end in mind, is we don't want to be a burden for anyone. We want to be a joy, and we want to be active participants, and we don't want the responsibility of our care landing in someone else's hands if we can avoid it. So every decision we make now has that in its consideration process of where will that lead us down the road. And if it doesn't seem like it's going to lead us in a good place, then we usually take a different route. So thinking beyond today is key as well, not only for yourself, but for your spouse as well. And then keeping communication open. This is crucial, especially when you have your hands in a lot of different areas of life, or you're wearing a bunch of different hats. So, you know, he's dad, I'm mom. He could be mom sometimes. I could be dad. We both work. We have our own businesses. We have friends. We have other responsibilities that we have to take care of. And so if you don't keep the lines of communication open, there could be some assumptions, and we all know it happens when we assume too many things, that can fall into place that could really cause some miscommunication, some hurt feelings, and some stomped on egos. So we really do try to keep the communication open about how we're going to plan out our day and what it is that we want for ourselves. So if I'm feeling like I need to do something specific with my nutrition, I have to tell Michael that. So if he's making dinner, he doesn't, you know, if let's say I'm having a vegan week or something, and he's responsible for making dinner, and he lays out some salmon, like I could automatically be offended or have my feelings hurt because he made salmon when I'm having a vegan week. But if I didn't tell him I was going vegan this week, how would he know? And so keeping the lines of communication open for and about what your goals are and what you need to get done in a day is really important, because we are busy, and when you don't communicate, that's when feelings do get hurt. And then if you don't work through those feelings, they get trapped down inside, and then we know how that ends up being a big problem, especially in marriages. And so communicate. And like Michael mentioned about the morning routine that we have, like we have it set out. Like there are just some mornings where I get Gabby up, I get lunch made, I take care of the dog, I get Gabby to school, because Michael needs to work out because he has a busy day. And then he always returns the favor for me as well, where he'll take the role of getting Gabby up and taking care of the dog and getting her off to school so I can work out because I have a busy day. And then there's those beautiful days where we can work out together. And so he wouldn't know that, and I wouldn't know that if we didn't keep our lines of communication open. And that really does help prevent feelings from being hurt, and then getting yourself into a situation where you're fighting about something today that happened 5 years ago, and no one even knows why it is that you're mad. So keep those lines of communication open as well, and that's for healthy relationships in general.
And number 5 is trust and accountability. This is a big one because I know, there's a very huge, strong possibility that I'm not going to work out in the morning if she grabs me and says, "Oh, no, come back to bed." Like, if I'm supposed to be hitting my workout that morning, then I'm probably going to roll back over and like, okay, I'll just do it later. And it's the same thing.
Or staying up late at night to
Yeah,
watch some
staying up
Netflix
late.
show.
It's so easy. Like, I mean, I could do it to her. I could be like, "Hey, let's get into show hole and watch, whatever it is we're watching on Netflix currently. Let's just do one more." Well, if I do that, her trust in me, she's going to just give into it, probably be like, "Oh, yeah, okay, just one more." And before you know it, you're up till 1 a.m, you're tired, and, so that workout in the morning is not going to happen. And if you're munching on something on the couch, which we tend to try to avoid at night, then you're double guilty of not getting your workout. You stayed up late, you munched on something, So trust and accountability is huge in a lot of ways. I know the other day when we were working out, I told Diane I was going to get Gabby up because her workout was longer than mine, so I was going to hit that time right when I was, it was my responsibility to get her up. And I saw her leave the room. I thought she was going like, "Oh God, you must have forgot," and she was going to get Gabby, but she wasn't going to get Gabby. She was just going to use the bathroom. But it just crossed my mind that there's where you got to have trust and she has to trust that I'm going to get her up, and she was trusting, by the way, that I was going to get her up. But it just made me think about that point. Having trust and accountability is so important that, that could totally ruin her workout. That she knows she was going to have a hour workout, 45-minute workout, and now she's got to cut it short because she thinks maybe it's possible that I forgot to go wake up Gabby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the key to all of this is really, if you have a certain lifestyle that you're trying to live, communicate that with your spouse or your significant other. Let them know what it is that you're wanting to do for yourself, and ask them to join you on your journey. If they're not interested, you have to respect that as well, but just still communicate what it is that you need and ask them to support you, because not every couple is going to design their day exactly the same. We got really lucky. And then just always make sure you keep the lines of communication open, you keep the trust and accountability open, and then make sure that you're not sabotaging someone else's desires to live a healthy life, and that you're not allowing someone else to do that to you as well. And then find some peace and harmony in it. And then when you do finally get to that point, because I know there's a lot of couples in this community where wives have gone through the intermittent fasting for today's Aging Woman course, and now the husbands are jumping on board and they're going through the course with them, and they're changing and seeing amazing results as well, and now they're walking through this lifestyle together, is create some great opportunity for some dates and some new activities that you can bring in, and some cooking classes, or have some fun in the kitchen designing some new things to create for your family. And this lifestyle really should be looked at in that way, and in a way that you can bring some joy and some light and some newness to a relationship, where maybe you were just kind of, tired and not having anything to look forward to. Incorporating a healthy lifestyle can be considered a habit, and a really great way to bring some fun into your relationship with your partner as well. And then guess what? Your kids are watching you too, so they're probably going to pick up on some habits, whether they're still living with you or they're not. Even maybe some grandkids will be picking up on some stuff. So let me see if we have any questions or comments. Michael and I have to rush out of here today to go pick up our sweet Gabby from school. And since you guys are always interested in our kids, we want to share that our sweet little Gabby, she had a track and field event this week, which got froze out. It was absolutely freezing and they canceled it. But she also competed in a choir competition this week at school, and her choir team took first place. So we're super proud of that little girl and all the amazing things that she is doing in and for herself in her life. So it doesn't look like I have any comments here on Facebook that I can see. Let me see if we have anything over on YouTube, and if not, we are going to jump off and go pick up our sweet girl. Make sure the volume doesn't pop up on here. Let's see. Okay, YouTube. Let's see. Valerie, hi from Florida. Broke my arm yesterday. It's the perfect time for me to start the new course. It is the perfect time for you to start the new course, girlfriend. You can rest and you can enjoy the energized sense of calm. And fasting does help your body heal. So hopefully we'll be able to get you through that little broken arm incident pretty quickly and get you back up and running before you know it. But yeah, great outlook. Take advantage of the downtime and really sink into the course and practice what you're learning. Darlene, good stuff. Glad you joined us. Kanikar, let's see, Naja, listening from Utah. Welcome, girlfriend, and Kathleen. Always good to have you as well. Okay, a couple of announcements really quick, and then we're going to jump off. Intermittent fasting for today's Age of Woman course registration closes tomorrow morning at about 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Our new course starts tomorrow with a live welcome Q&A at 10 a.m. And then the masterclass series and community is open for enrollment. If you are a graduate, check your inbox with your emails. I will be sending out an email either this afternoon or tomorrow with an invite for that, and registration for that will close on Monday. So we're going to open it and close it pretty quickly. Anything else we want to talk about?
Nope. That's it.
If you are struggling to find some harmony and peace in your home or your relationship with trying to create a healthy lifestyle for yourself and your family, please consider incorporating these 5 tips to get you there. 1, design your perfect day. Write it out, brain dump it, create it as if it is happening. Include as many details as possible. Invite your spouse to do the same, and then combine your perfect days to see if you can create something that you can both work with. 2, tag team as a couple, whether you're in social situations and especially around your home, to make sure the burden of responsibility around the home is shared equally, so no one has to sacrifice what it is that they want for themselves to take care of the responsibilities around the home. Number 3, think beyond today. What do you want your life to be like with your spouse 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? And are you doing the things today to make sure that that's going to happen for you? Number 4, keep communication open. Don't assume things. Make sure you are clear with what it is that you need and support from your spouse. Make sure you're clear about what it is that you want for yourself. That way you're not stepping on each other's toes. And then you have to build in some trust and accountability. If you are giving responsibility up for something that you're used to doing in your home to your spouse, you have to trust that they are going to, in fact, get it done. And one thing that Michael and I have really had to come to grips with is that he can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We may go about it different ways, but in the end, it's always going to be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And sometimes we have to walk away and understand that our spouse is just going to do things differently than we are, as long as the end result is the same. That's all we need to worry about. So I hope this helps you design an amazing, healthy lifestyle for you and your household and your spouse.
And we won't be here next Friday.
Oh no, we won't be here next Friday because I don't know if we're going to be here next week at all. Or no, we won't be here the week after that because we are going to spring break with our kids. We're going back home to Kentucky to go visit Michael's family. So we're really excited about that. The kids are going to get to meet their grandmother and some cousins and stuff like that. So we'll be gone for sure next Friday and the Monday after next Friday. And then Wednesday is up in the air still because we don't know what we're doing for spring break for the kids. But we'll be here Monday and Wednesday next week. Have a super fantastic weekend. This is a great weekend project. Get some paper out, get some pen out, and sit and have a great conversation with your spouse over a cup of black coffee and a big old bottle of water. Have a great weekend, you guys.
Have a great weekend.